Yo, welcome back to another video, all my peoples, ladies, and gents. Let's get right into this, bro. We going to a live scene, got a few announcements to make. Should probably click the scene. Ha! Stupid me. Here we go, we in it. Shout out to, PORCUKROT. I don't really know what that means, but I'm gonna just call him Poor Kakarot. I don't know. Anyways though, thank y'all for joining. We about to get right into it. I think I might or might not know what I want to react to. Might or might not. That's like an in between, right? Um, this it's all good to go. Okay, so we got this video right here. This is I don't know what it is. It looks intriguing. I'll say that.
Nonton drakor yuk.
Hah? Lebih seru film action tahu.
With the announcement and official trailer of Dragon Ball Daima, there were a lot of doubts about the Dragon Ball Super anime. The true return of Dragon Ball Super. People even said that it's been cancelled. But calm down, because it is totally the opposite, and Dragon Ball Production itself spoke on it. That's right, Dragon Ball Super is still standing, and it will continue where it left off from the Tournament of Power. In today's video, I'm going to talk about everything that's going to be happening with Dragon Ball Super Season 2, where it's going to be available to watch, and I'll also talk about where Dragon Ball Daima fits into Super. So turn that like into a Super Saiyan Blue, and let's get to this video, which is full of information.
It's SSJ4.
So first, let's start talking about Dragon Ball Daima itself, where this story is going to take place, whether it's going to interfere with Dragon Ball Super, and where it even happens in the chronological order of things. First of all, you need to know that Dragon Ball Daima will be completely canon. So yes, it will have some interference with the story of Super. Now regarding the chronology of it, well, according to some channels, Dragon Ball Daima will take place before Super and after Majin Buu. But there's one scene that could change everything in this trailer. That's because there's a scene where we see a Namekian, and it doesn't really make sense to be Dende because it's an old Namekian. It also can't be Kami-sama, nor does it make sense to be him because of the fusion with Piccolo. I guess it could be, but it doesn't make any sense, and there's no point where they talk about the fusion of the Namekians coming apart, especially considering a fusion between a warrior and an elder with magical powers, the so-called Dragon Clan. That's why, guys, I'm saying that this Namekian who appears could be Manedo. Even though the context of the trailer appears completely after the Majin Buu saga, we have to understand that this doesn't interfere with anything being after the Granola saga. I personally do prefer it to be after the Granola saga. It would be pretty interesting to see Goku going to look for Broly on planet Vampa, Goten, Trunks growing up, all of that. But in any case, this doesn't change anything about what Dragon Ball Super has to bring, because the continuation of Dragon Ball Super will follow the manga faithfully. And it's worth remembering too that Dragon Ball Super did surpass the manga. That's why the manga had so many different things, but now the anime is going to have so much material to work off of, and they will follow the manga precisely. Later on, I'll talk about what the anime is going to adapt from the manga, but for now, let's just focus on the return date. When can we expect the Dragon Ball Super anime? According to leaks we had from DBS Chronicles, the Dragon Ball Super anime would return in 2025, with the web anime being announced in 2023, which did happen. But now with Dragon Ball Daima project scheduled for fall 2024, the return of Dragon Ball Super in 2025 may or may not be affected, and I'm gonna go with may not be affected. And why is that? Well, that's because Dragon Ball Super has been in production for quite a bit of time, so they must have some episodes, perhaps even complete sagas ready, just as DBS Chronicles inferred. So with that, we have exactly the date of Dragon Ball Super, which is the date of 2025. The maximum, absolute maximum we're gonna see it come back is maybe winter 2026. In this case, the January anime season. With all the information we have the range of it's coming between autumn 2025 and winter 2026. And I think that it is going to be announced in 2024. This isn't going to be so bad because we also have the Dragon Ball game, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So in 2024, we have a lot to look forward to with Dragon Ball. And let's not forget too that Dragon Ball Daima will be released in fall of 2024, thus giving even more credibility to the return of Super in 2025. And we can't forget about another Dragon Ball movie too. Yes, yes, we could see another Dragon Ball movie being announced in 2025, or maybe even being announced before the Super anime. For those who don't know what the anime adaptation is going to be like, first they are going to start with Dragon Ball Super Broly, a saga that the manga skipped, but they did mention during the Moro Saga and Super Hero Saga. Then they will move forward and have the Moro Saga. This saga is one of the best and most anticipated because of its level of fights and history. The saga where we're going to see so much of Goku's development, it's going to be super interesting. We'll have the entire development of the Ultra Instinct. It's going to be the first time Goku is using it at will after the Tournament of Power. Not to mention he's going to be training it too. In this saga, we're going to see one of his best developments. It's going to please a lot of fans who have always questioned whether Goku was really a hero. This saga is where we will see Goku's own response and coming to terms with this fact. And then moving on from the Moro Saga, there we have the Granola Saga. This is an even better one than the Moro Saga in terms of fighting, and we have a beautiful development of Vegeta too, containing an even greater development of Goku. And with all these awesome, amazing fights and new transformations, we will talk about the animation here in the video as well, and where we can watch it. Is it going to be on Cartoon Network, or is it going to go to Netflix? Anyway, let's keep talking about the actual arcs we're going to see. So continuing with the Granola Survivor Saga, we're going to have a huge twist at the end, which is going to be amazing in the anime concerning Frieza. Actually, the entire story of Granola revolves around Frieza, his whole business and everything else he has going on. So in the anime, we're going to meet another group that wants to dominate the universe, but they work for Frieza. And then after the Granola Saga, we will have another one, and perhaps another adaptation in addition to the Superhero Saga. So first, let's talk about the Superhero Saga. It will be adapted again for the anime, like it was from the movie to the manga, now to the anime. But we'll also have that transitional part where we saw Goten and Trunks going to school, them practicing with their Saiyaman 1 and 2, and maybe you're sighing and finding this all a little bit repetitive because you want new content. The cool thing is that we are going to have way more episodes than we had in the last season. So in season 1 of Dragon Ball, which of course is several sagas, it had about 131 episodes. And that's considering episodes like the baseball with Champa episode, the episode where Arale appears, and where Beerus is almost completely finishing her off with a Hakai. But in terms of actual filler sagas, we have that one where Goten and Trunks went over to that planet where the water copied people and it was all pretty cool. And then we saw Vegeta fighting Goku, but Vegeta wanted Goku to win, but he wanted the other Vegeta to win too, and it was all very mixed up. And I really like this one. I actually wish that this one was in the manga, because generally I consider the manga more canon than the anime. But anyway, moving forward, as the Superhero Saga will be adapted in the anime, we're not going to see too many changes with the story, but something we will be enjoying is the 2D animation. A lot of people are pretty tired of seeing the superhero story playing out now, but we will be enjoying that 2D animation of it. Then after the Superhero Saga, we could have a saga focused on the new Dragon Ball movie that is yet to be released. This would be pretty cool, and it would be the continuation of the superhero movie. Honestly, this all seems like a really tight schedule, but Toei Animation, they're pretty well advanced regarding Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball, even if they're not on for 10 years, they will still be polling at the top of animes. One interesting thing that many fans didn't even pay attention to is the One Piece remake, which is not even going to be made by Toei Animation. This gives us some light to Dragon Ball Z also having a possible remake, which would be pretty cool. But let's first prioritize the Superhero Saga, the continuation of Dragon Ball Super, and all that. So like I said, we're gonna have a much bigger season than the last one. I think that this one could even see like 200 episodes, or at least close to that. Now finally, let's talk about some of this animation of the anime's continuation, which I'm sure you're curious to know about. So according to DBS Chronicles, we will have some new animators, new in the sense that they're gonna start on this series. But maybe they've worked on other Dragon Ball things or other things from Toei Animation. So first of all, we have Yuya Takahashi and Yamamoto, who are going to be the animation heads for Dragon Ball Super, with Takahashi definitively taking on this role after his excellent work on the Tournament of Power. We will also have Naohiro Shintani, the chief animator of Dragon Ball Super Broly. We'll have Chikashi Kubota, which was the chief animator for Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which really means we're going to have a lot of excellent animators. Of course, we will have Shida again in Dragon Dragon Ball Super, and if you don't know who Sheeta is, he's the one who has those traits that kind of make the characters look shiny. He definitely has a stronger shading in Dragon Ball Super. But of course, let's talk about the animators in all the sagas of Dragon Ball Super's new season. So we'll have a basis of what each saga is going to be like, and I think you're going to like it. First, we have to understand that the animation itself will be equal or superior to the Tournament of Power, and I'm talking on a technical level. But since Dragon Ball Super Broly, we've had a change in character design. For those who paid more attention in the movie, you might have noticed that the design and art style were very similar to the manga, which suggests that the Super Saiyan Blue with the Kaioken was completely forgotten about. It probably makes no difference at this point because the Super Saiyan Blue will gain a great attribute of power. So in the sense of combination of techniques, it's going to be better than the Kaioken. But starting with the Broly saga, we will have the same style as the movie. I'm
just checking out the stream, see how we was doing.
saying they're going to use Shintani and Takahashi again, which makes a lot of sense. It was a really good combination for the movie. If you didn't take notice, Takahashi is in the movie. It's really easy to notice his features as it's a much more characteristic feature. For example, the moment Goku does that Rasengan against Broly, that's the moment it's Takahashi. Then moving forward, we have the Moro saga where things start to get really nice because we'll have Shintani and Yamamoto with Takahashi giving us the most exciting fight scenes, especially because Shintani, he doesn't really match too much with the Ultra Instinct. I think that Yamamoto will also have some scenes during the Broly saga too, because we know that many animators always appear in the episodes, but I'm only going to talk about the main ones here. So it's going to be interesting to see Shintani's style in the anime because it's going to contain that same style as the Broly movie, which is going to completely change Dragon Ball Super in terms of design. The Moro saga itself, I'm sure it will not disappoint in this regard because of all of the amazing context it's going to carry into the anime. Toei Animation knows what it needs to do. It definitely heard the feedback of fans, and I'm sure it's going to be great. Moving on now to the Granola saga, where we will have Takahashi, obviously, but we'll also have Yamamoto and Shintani. It may be in the Granola saga that Kubota will also play some part in the animation, especially at the end. I think this could happen because it's going to bring that nostalgia factor back to fans, but Kubota should only gain prominence in the superhero saga mostly for obvious reasons. In short, the animation of Dragon Ball Super will be much better than that of the Tournament of Power. I previously talked about it being at least the same, precisely to say that it's not going to be at the level of the first episodes of Dragon Ball Super. This new season will bring us the best animation of the entire work, and without a shadow of doubt, we'll have even more details than the features of Dragon Ball Z. Even though Shintani does have a simpler design, Takahashi himself can bring that same level of detail as Z, not to mention Yamamoto, who was an animator for the Majin Buu saga, which in itself speaks volumes. Kubota, for example, will bring the style of the Cell saga and Majin Buu, which will be interesting, and we were able to see this in the flashback we had in the 2D in the superhero movie, which made many fans excited for the possibility of a remake too. I'm really looking forward to the return of Dragon Ball Super, but one thing we're wondering is where it's going to be shown. So let me answer that for you now. During the last season of Dragon Ball Super, Cartoon Network purchased the rights to it and began airing the anime. But now it's going to be totally different, even due to the increase that DBS will have. Dragon Ball itself is a work that has always been censored in some countries, but now it's at this point where Toei Animation shouldn't even care about that, because just look at the Moro saga. This is definitely a violent saga, not necessarily for kids like the Dragon Ball superhero movie. Toei Animation knows the importance of the main two sagas from the Super manga, and I think that during the Moro saga, we're even going to have a soundtrack similar to the Cell saga because of all of the references to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the Dragon Ball Super anime. It's going to be absolutely insane, and it is going to bring Dragon Ball back to the top. Even without an anime, it continues to rank highly among all of the anime polls. There's still people who talk about One Piece and Naruto, but it's an undeniable fact that Dragon Ball is like the most important, valuable work of all of Japan. Even people who are die-hard Dragon Ball fans are not necessarily fans of anime in general. So they definitely have a very wide audience, and now they are bringing even the new generation into it. Clearly, Dragon Ball will have the highest box office, just like Superhero did. No one was ever expecting Superhero to surpass all of the other Dragon Ball movies, but it did, and it even surpassed a lot of anime movies, being like the highest grossing in history. So let's go back to the focus. Dragon Ball Super's new season, it's not going to be released on Netflix, that's obvious. It'll most likely be released on Crunchyroll. So here, fan to fan, let me just say, if it comes out on Crunchyroll, I ask that you subscribe there and not watch the anime in a pirated way, because it just supports the creators better. Of course, there's people who can't pay for the subscription, but at least watch it for free with some advertising or something, because it helps with the dubbing of the anime too. Not to mention, but Dragon Ball also deserves to be
play like $4.99. Then when you get to the anime, you gotta pay like the extra $9.99. Bro, don't do that. Nah. Anyways, let's bring us to the last video. They basically really ain't talking about nothing. Shout out to everybody that joined in this video. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to PORCUKROT. He followed me 6 hours ago. She, he, they. Stop me when I'm saying your letters. But nah, I appreciate all y'all. If y'all ever wanna support the stream going forward, just make sure I click this the Streamlabs one. They'll take you right to where you need to be, and you can support your boy. I appreciate it, and we out of here. Yeah.